Good morning, greetings. EXBGLO Union fam. EXBGLO Union is basically an outreach ministry. It is not a church, even though it is a fellowship of sorts, made up of believers, unbelievers, people inside of Black Greek letter organizations, people outside of Black Greek letter organizations. Now, I started this group in 2006. My group was based upon, I'm letting y'all know this to let y'all understand, when I speak on Anubis, I'm not speaking from theories. I'm not speaking from what somebody told me. I'm speaking from my experiences as a denounced member of Omega Psi Phi, renounced and denounced for over 20 years. And not just on the internet, live in person. Houston, Texas, Savannah, Georgia, Commission to Love, conferences, Hampton, Virginia, conferences in Hampton, Virginia. I worked as a dorm director in people's faces. People have denounced under I want to say ministering to them. But the main thing has never been about denouncing with me. It's always been Operation Salvation. The first thing first was always the salvation, the soul of the man or the woman that we was ministering to. And after that was established, then it became an issue of renouncing and denouncing and all the intricacies of what's in rituals and whatnot. Okay, so let's go back to dealing with Anubis, what we're dealing with here, this dialogue between believers. This is not, when dealing with members of the so-called Divine Nine, you are dealing with educated people. We're on an educated level, dealing with Egyptology, Roman mythology, Greek mythology, and all this stuff like that. When I went into a frat house in Prairie View and ministered to our brother Shahid, I did not mention Anubis of any sort, because there's nowhere in our rituals that we were a part of. It's nowhere in the traditions. Now, some campuses do things like going to the graveyard, so you can find the similarities with death and all that stuff like that. But you can find that with all the frats. Now, the book that I showed y'all, by these two, XQ and the X-Mason, I have that book. And in that book, he speaks on Anubis. He don't go too deep into it, but he's dealing with deliverance ministry. That's why I always leave a space for deliverance, dealing with demons. Demons, a man can have many demons. A fraternity can have many demonic presences in them, including Osiris, Isis, Horus, Anubis, and all of them. The whole family could be in there. Just like that thing about Legion. We're many. So no, this is not about that Anubis can't be in Omega Psi Phi members. This is about really evangelism, the truth, the facts. Yes, there's similarities with this, but it's nowhere to be found in the materials. There was a dog stage in the Lampados Club that was gotten rid of, and that doesn't even connect to any Egyptian gods and to my knowledge. Now, before me, there was Minister Fred Hatchett, who denounced, I believe, don't quote me, but 1995. He also wrote a book, Coming Apart at the Seams. I didn't read that whole book, but I read enough of that book to be like, it's all kind of stuff in this book. Anubis, where's that at? And Fred is on this site. He can correct me if I'm wrong. So what I'm trying to do is give you tools that when you go minister to a member of Omega Psi Phi, you start utilizing demons that hide behind these mythological names like Anubis and Jupiter, Zeus, and all that stuff. Zeus, Osiris, Zeus, Osiris, Jupiter, Baal are all just Satans or devils. And they got many names, but I'm giving you tools that you won't get bogged down in no art. Just like how it is, people going back and forth, you will not get bogged down talking about something that you will not be able to pin down on nothing. Now, if you are a deliverance minister, that's a whole different ball game, because a devil, a spirit, a demon. They all got the same name. Their name is unclean and foul. And those unclean, foul spirits were cast out of me. And when I took that license plate out my car, those spirits left the top of my back. Nobody was around me. But that happened in 2001. What I'm telling you is that I am a dreamer. I have open visions and visions. Nowhere has God ever revealed to me the names of any Greek gods or Roman gods that was associated with them demons. Now, that's not saying that that's not who the demon was. But this is the same thing that happened between me and EX Ministries. EX Ministries did a video called The Truth Behind Hip Hop, where they stated that a demon came out and told G. Craig Lewis his name was Hip Hop. And I was telling people, I said, the devil is a liar. They can say their name is anything. Why? Hip hop is English. It's a new language compared to the older languages. When were demons created? They are disembodied spirits of the Nephilim spirits. God created these angelic forces, watchers that fell, and their names were whatever they were, but they come under all kind of names. Do not run with the word of devils, seducing spirits and doctors of devils. All that witchcraft that comes from Egypt, the biggest source of it is the Book of the Dead. That's where we receive the drama of Osiris, Isis, Horus, Anubis, and all the rest of them. I'm pretty sure their names in Kemet was Asur, Aset, and Heru. You know, so my connection when I deal, if you want to know, and how I minister when it comes to Egypt and the connection to Omega Psi Phi, I deal with Osiris. Why would I deal with Osiris? Because Osiris is the connection. The reason why I denounced, because a former Freemason told me what time it was about the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is not the God of the lodge. And then he informed me that Omega Psi Phi rituals and initiations come from them. I studied for 2 weeks back in 01, prayed about it, and did not renounce. Then I denounced. Social media wasn't out yet, but as soon as it came out, I met Fred and all them on Olympus, which was a social media site, Gail Gray, all of us. And we cut our teeth talking to people, ministering to people. But the thing about Minister Fred Hatchett and even Gail Gray, back then, Elder Taliba, we didn't just do it on social media. We met people face to face on their campuses, in the grocery stores. So this is a place where you can learn, where we went out and believe me, by going out and ministering in this dark mess, there's a price to pay. There is a price to pay when you do evangelism. But you know what I'm saying? I hope that you are filled with the Ruach HaKodesh, which is the Holy Spirit, which will lead you into all truth. And I believe it says, I'm paraphrasing, needed not no man to teach you these things. But we do have an area for teaching, and it's called the fivefold ministry, or we call it that. Some apostles, Jesus ascended into heaven, left some gifts, some apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastors, and teachers. For what? The equipping and training of the saints. And Brother P don't want you to waste no time dealing with debating about Greek, Egyptian, and Roman gods and their intricacies. Even the ritual is bogged down in a bunch of mess. This is witchcraft. So I don't minister with it. I utilize what I need out of that ritual to show, let's use specifically what I came out of, members of Omega Psi Phi, that the faith is diametrically opposed through what? Through the universal brotherhood of man and the fatherhood of God. That's it. All the rest of it is mess. It's a violent ritual. So you messing around with I read that ritual. My dean gave me a ritual. I read it when I was a neophyte and got sick as a dog. Be careful. Pray before you deal with this mess. because believe me, it is mess. So yeah, be careful, pray before you do all these things, and denounce, do whatever you got to do. But remember, this is a place where we can share, where we can love on each other and teach each other. And like I said, I did not say that Anubis had nothing to do with Omega. What I said was, is this a spiritual thing? And what I meant by that is, like those brothers in that book from 2011, these are two ministers who deal in deliverance. Their book is on Amazon. So check it out. I got it. But I don't run with everything. I run with what God gave me. So, what God gave me and what I work, some of what I worked it out in the field. Okay? So God bless you. And I got another post I'm doing about Tony Brown. Empower the people.